my viewers, and welcome back to my channel. I will come into a thought-provoking video where we will be taking a look into the hidden meanings and symbolism behind the Netflix movie Leave the World Behind. So join me as we explore the fascinating insights and interpretations shared by various individuals, uncovering the secrets and messages embedded in this thought-provoking film. From the symbolism of the red door to the significance of the number 96 and the eerie connections to biblical prophecies, we will take a look into the intriguing analysis of this movie. Discover how the film's themes of reset, transformation, and new beginnings are woven throughout the narrative, and how they might be reflecting our current world situation. So get ready to have your mind blown as we venture into the world of hidden messages, symbolism, and synchronicities. Whether you've seen the movie or not, this video will offer a fresh perspective on the themes and ideas presented in Leave the World Behind. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the unknown together. Take a look at these videos. I will be right back.
I need to get Obama on the phone. Was he a clairvoyant? There is no way we are experiencing this as a collective right now. You're telling me that within 2 weeks, we've had everything under the sun, from hurricanes, tornadoes, presidents almost assassinated, and now global outages? Someone scour the internet for my Leave the World Behind video, because I believe I told y'all to pay attention. No, I'm banned on that account, so I can't get it. But yeah, if you haven't heard the news, the first thing they want you to know is that this was not a cyber attack. There was a massive IT outage that started in Australia and made its way over here. Because that's how computers work, I guess? I don't know. This is the most current story per NBC News, and according to them, there's a major global IT outage that has grounded flights, hit banks, and businesses around the world. The problem was caused by a defect found in a single content update for Windows from the cybersecurity company CrowdStrike. Fundamentals of IT are a little hazy, so let me tell you just what that has affected. According to NBC News, there are multiple hospitals and medical centers across the United States that are turning patients away in the wake of the global IT problems. Specifically, the Harris Health Quentin Meese Health Center in Houston said it was canceling all elective procedures and outpatient care, as well as a Boston hospital and multiple others. Banks are also having major issues as this cybersecurity company CrowdStrike has had a cascade effect across the global IT system. Mass amount of people are stuck at airplanes because they cannot access systems to get these people boarded. Trains, certain phone and cellular communications are having issues. Gotta hit you with the allegedly because the story is updating and I don't want to get bananaed again. But do y'all remember that guy? Have you guys ever heard of DNC? You'd be surprised the scandal that awaits there. But let's just wait and see.
You know, after watching this movie again, I'm starting to realize this movie is not about the world ending. It's about a reset that's about to happen. Now, this is about to blow my mind. So, y'all know how Rose snuck into the house to watch Friends, right? I don't know if anybody knows anything about the red door. The Hebrews used goat blood to put on their front doorstep as a peace offering to the angels of death so they wouldn't take their firstborns. Even in the Underground Railroad, they used a red door to signify it was a safe space for escaped slaves. Now, y'all notice Rosie couldn't get through the front door, so she broke the glass. Now, I don't know if anybody knows about the 3 days of darkness where they say stay away from the glass because they could break it. And it's so crazy because when Kanye and Mayor Eric Adams said they need to build apartments with no windows, they were low-key warning us. Now, y'all peep how Rosie found friends, but she also found so many other things that she could possibly use. Before I even forget this part, the name on the house said Thorns. Jesus' crown, thorns. The blood of Christ is on the door, red door. I don't know if anybody is, big on the Bible, but there's a verse that says, whoever was first shall be last, and whoever was last shall be first. What was the name of the show Rosie was looking for? The Last One. Then Beyonce drops her new song, My House, the same time they dropped this Netflix movie. Talk about my house. Hello. Now, I also looked up the number 96 that was on the girl's arm. The number 96 also means to let go of material things and to prepare for a new beginning. And the flamingos in the water means to practice your balance out life. Yo, I don't even think I got to record this part, but peep game when Rosie is at the table eating like she's never ate before. Look in the back. There's a picture of slaves, literally. And you know that Bible verse gets me. Whoever was first shall be last, and whoever was last shall be first. I don't know if they're going first last, last first, or if they're going first last, first last. You get what I'm trying to say? But it's just very, very, very odd. Let me know what y'all think. This is just a hypothetical thing, though. It's not no conspiracy shit. It's just for fun.
Here are hidden messages in the movie Leave the World Behind. Spoiler alert. First is the changing artwork. As you can see behind the bed, the waters are calm and still. But as it progresses, it becomes more turbulent. As you can see here, this symbolizes that still waters will be no more in the future to come. Next is this photo, which appears to be like radio waves or signals that changes to this and then eventually looks like this, reinforcing that our signals are going to be interrupted. Then we also have this artwork right here, which is eyes on a painting by a painter named Barthélemy Togo. The same artist also had an exhibition called Craving for Humanity, where his designs speak to the upheavals of the world, such as wars, famine, and abuse of powers. Next is this scene from above, which appears to look like a power button, signifying turn the power off. Next, we have this pamphlet, which translates into Death to America, and what appears to be of Islamic origin. To add to that, let's not forget that the author, Rumaan Alam, is Islamic, and Mahershala Ali is also Islamic. And this was done cleverly to show who the message and warning is coming from. Lastly, I'll touch on what was seen while traveling. We see Fort Morse Road and Point Comfort, exit 76. Fort Morse was a free black settlement during slavery. This movie had a lot of references to race, which I would have to do a whole nother video for. Point Comfort was the irony of them actually leaving the city to come to the island to get out of their comfort zone, and how what's to come is going to also get them out their comfort zone. Exit 76 has to deal with the year the United States was established. The White Line, which also touches on the racial aspects of this movie, was a ship that brought the first African slaves to the colony of Virginia. We see the Huxleys, which is a reference to Aldous Huxley, the author of A Brave New World. And we also have the registration, which is 1222. Some speculate it's predicting a date. Others say it's nothing at all. I'll let you decide. I'll finish this off by explaining the ending, which most people hated. The little girl you just saw was obsessed with Friends and wanted to watch the last episode called The Last One. Not to mention that Matthew Perry used to date Julia Roberts, and he coincidentally passed away on her birthday. So basically, his ending marks her new beginning with this movie. And that is what the ending was all about. The end of the world as we know it, and a new one trying to survive. Once seen, it can't be unseen. And in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king.
This might surprise a lot of you, but I actually wasn't. Leave the World Behind is undoubtedly a movie that you're either gonna love or downright hate. My final thoughts after finally watching it last night is that I honestly love this movie. But a lot of people expressed in the comments that they were very confused and didn't understand the ending. Luckily, I think I do. And there were a lot of subliminal messages that you guys might want to know about. So here are a few of my theories, as well as the symbolism that I caught throughout the movie. But first, a warning. This video is definitely going to contain some spoilers. So save this video and come back later if you still haven't seen it yet. So let's start off by talking about Rose and Archie, as well as what they're wearing. Rose, the 13-year-old daughter, was wearing a NASA t-shirt when she started to notice the strange things happening around her. And of course, she wanted to explore more, being drawn to the woods as well as that house on the hill. In my opinion, it's definitely giving NASA and their curiosity, as well as their purpose of space exploration. While on the other hand, her brother Archie was sporting the Obey and the Rockstar t-shirts. And as you've seen in the film, Archie was very much distracted by, I guess, his temptation, and basically didn't take Rose's concerns seriously. In my opinion, this is possibly speaking to the typical teenagers and young adults in our time. You know, the ones who would even know what Rockstar and Obey are. I'm theorizing that these kids are the symbolism of the two different types of people in the world. Those who are distracted by their addictions, their vices, their temptations, and those who see what's happening and want to find out more, or escape altogether. Speaking of escaping, the ending definitely reminded me of those people who prepared to go to another planet once they heard the world was ending. And that might have been back in like 2011. But Rose basically said, I'm done waiting for help. I'm gonna enjoy my last little bit of time on Earth. And she really left them. But let's back it up and talk about another thing that I noticed. One of the first incidents that happened in this movie was the White Lion ship crashing on the beach. But did you know the White Lion was actually the name of the first ship to bring abducted and enslaved Africans to America? Specifically to the English colony of Virginia back in 1619. Maybe it was symbolism of what was to come later on in the movie. And I'm talking about the tension between Amanda and her two unexpected guests at her vacation rental home. I'm thinking that it represents the racial biases and tension that's happening in our real world. Because Amanda could not believe that two Black people could have owned that beautiful mansion, regardless of how much they proved that it was theirs. And she clearly did not want them to stay there with her and her family. Not until everyone let their guard down. Amanda and GH bonded over a few drinks and music, and Clay and Ruth shared a vape together. And not until they could let that bias and tension go, were they able to have a productive conversation about what could be happening. Before I dive deeper into the musical symbolism as well as the ending, I want to talk about one other message I found. And this one is obvious. It's technology. This is a basic one that most people should have picked up on. Throughout the entire movie, there was symbolism of how distracted we are with our phones and our devices, and also how we feel useless without them. Clay getting lost driving on the road, Rose not caring about the state of emergency that's going on and just wanting to watch Friends. Everyone the entire time checking their phones or trying to use their devices knowing there's a blackout. It speaks to how reliant we become on technology, and how many people will fail to know how to function if we lost it all. And speaking of technology, let's talk about the record player. Considering what was in the gift box that Netflix sent to me, and all the different times that it was placed on screen, for example, the driveway to GH's house, Clay's t-shirt which had its own meaning within itself, and the vinyl library within the home, it's clear that the record player symbolizes something. Music is known to bring people together around the world. We bond over it every single day. So I have to think that it ties into an idea of friendship and togetherness, because that was the only time that GH and Amanda actually got along. From the beginning to the end of the movie, friendship and togetherness was referenced, especially with Rose's obsession with the show Friends. Some speculate that this is connected to something deeper and darker. Considering Matthew Perry's tragic passing as well as Doja Cat's recent release, referencing the show, I get why people say that, but I'm not too sure. I tried to look into the specific episode that Rose was super obsessed with. And here's the basic synopsis that I found. The six friends prepare to part ways and set out on the next chapters of their lives, with momentous events and surprises in store. GH, Ruth, Amanda, Clay, Archie, Rose, 6 people. I'm thinking that they were hinting at a part 2, especially considering the ending. But unfortunately, we will not know until they tell us. If you look at the context clues of the 3 situations at the end, you could probably guess why it is so significant now, and maybe even what might happen next. First, Clay, GH, and Archie are trying to get help from this overprotective gun-wielding man. And it's because Archie is now very sick. Isn't that a little strange? The one who was distracted got hit with sickness first. And in my opinion, this man definitely represents gun enthusiasts of America, especially with the red maple tree outside of his house, symbolizing protection, strength, and also him sporting the cowboy's hat, which are clues in itself. If you don't know, that's Texas.
Okay, so a lot of people have watched that new Netflix movie, Leave the World Behind, and everyone's just like, oh my god, the ending sucks, it's so bad, like it literally doesn't make any sense. Like literally, it does. It makes so much sense, and I've been waiting to talk my shit for a while now. Little girl at the end of the movie, when she turns, oh, spoilers by the way, spoilers. Anyway, the little girl at the end of the movie who turns on a TV sitcom is literally us. She is you, she is me, she is everybody around us. Because what do we typically do? What do we typically do when the world's going to shit? We're like, oh my god, that's so tough, that's so bad. We might talk about it, we might discuss it with our friends and our family for a little bit, but then eventually after a little while we completely forget. We turn on TikTok, we watch some funny videos, watch a nice little sitcom, we watch a nice little movie, and we completely forget about it. Because many of us were watching that movie, we were watching Leave the World Behind, we were like, oh my god, This is so stressful. I'm so stressed. Oh my God, I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. This could actually happen in the future. Like literally the US has so many enemies. Like it makes more and more enemies day by day by day. Like this can happen. This can literally happen to us tomorrow. And we were stressed and we were scared and whatever. And a couple hours later, what were you doing? Look me in the face right now and tell me you weren't doing exactly what that little girl was doing. So yes, the ending of that movie makes a lot of sense, because the way I interpret it is that we will literally be watching the world ending around us, and then what do? We'll be like, damn, that's crazy. Anyway, that's what that girl is. That girl is anyway. That girl is what we do, typically. And then, of course, it doesn't make sense for them to tell us how the movie ends, because they don't know how the movie ends. We'll figure that out eventually when we live the movie in real life. And by the way, that is not going to be me, because at the first sight of an apocalypse, I'm going. I'm gonna let it take me. I'm gonna let it take me, because I'm not fighting for shit. I'm so sorry. I watched Walking Dead once and I said never.
Now, Leave the World Behind is a 2023 American apocalyptic psychological thriller film written and directed by Sam Esmail. It is based on the 2020 novel by Ruman Alam. The film stars Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, Myha'la Herrold, and Kevin Bacon as they try to make sense of a rapid breakdown in phones, television, and other common technology, which points to a potential cataclysm. The subtext throughout the film intersects with artisanship and class bias. Now, former President Barack Obama is facing significant criticism in the aftermath of a film release for which he served as a consultant. The movie, titled Leave the World Behind, has sparked controversy due to its purported focus on warning about palm-color people. Now, this development has raised questions about Obama's role in the production, particularly given his post-presidential involvement in the entertainment industry. Obama's production company High Ground's film Leave the World Behind has generated backlash for its apparent thematic focus on palm-color individuals. The plot revolves around Amanda Sanford, played by Julia Roberts, who embarks on an unplanned vacation to a rented house on Long Island with her family. As the narrative unfolds, technological breakdowns escalate, leading to a series of mysterious and unsettling events, including a blackout, distressed individuals seeking refuge, and geopolitical tensions heated up by cryptic messages. Following the film's debut on Netflix, individuals have turned to social media platforms to express their opinions about a particular moment within the movie. Now, this specific scene depicts an African-American father-daughter duo, with the daughter saying, "I'm asking you to remember that if the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially palm-color people." Now, one account on X, called End Wokeness, shared the offending scene, writing, "Barack and Michelle Obama just produced their first fiction film on Netflix called Leave the World Behind. The plot is about cyber attack that shuts down all the power and cripples the United States predictive programming." Now, in the final part of the movie, which is split into 5 parts, Amanda and Clay's son Aki wakes up to find that his teeth start falling out, while their daughter Rose is missing. GH and Clay go off to find help from neighbor Danny, only for him to offer zero assistance other than a warning to go back home. Now, as GH and Clay are trying to get help from Danny, Amanda and Ruth go out looking for Rose, but have no luck. The only thing they find is how badly affected the world has been, with explosions seen over New York and pew pew heard. As they watch on, and as GH and Clay plan to return to the house, we see Rose heading into a nearby house that caught her attention earlier. It's abandoned, so Rose takes advantage of the food and drink around. Before heading downstairs to a safe room, it's the doomsday bunker that GH's neighbors, the Thorns, built in secret, which Danny tells them about earlier. Now, in the bunker, there's food, water, beds, and electricity, but most importantly for Rose, a well-stocked DVD library and a TV. Now, she picks up the box set for the final season of Friends and presses play on the last one as the movie ends. Now, you might be wondering why Friends is included, and for Esmail, pardon me if I'm mispronouncing this name, it's pure escapism for Rose. In moments of crisis, when we've lost sight of our common humanity, when we feel isolated, we do want to escape to comfort. He explains it's an ending that could cause some frustration, as it doesn't really explain anything, but it's in keeping with the book, which is equally ambiguous. The movie does offer a potential explanation though, so let's get into it in case you missed it. Now, the morning after the blackout, Amanda sees a notification on her phone that hackers were behind the power failure but is unable to read more about it. It soon becomes clear that it's not just a power outage though, and that GH might know more about what's going on. Now, when Clay tries to head into town and find out more information, he encounters a drone that's dropped leaflets with Arabic writing that translates to "unaliving to America." However, later on their conversation with Danny, he reveals that a friend of his in San Diego got a leaflet dropping with either Korean or Chinese language on it. Now, this appears to be the bit of information that makes everything click for GH before they head back to the house. GH explains just what he's been concerned about throughout the movie and why he was keeping quiet about it to avoid scaring them. He works in finance and one of his clients is high up in the defense sector, meaning GH has studied the cost-benefit analysis of military campaigns. What's happening in the world reminds GH of a program that his client was terrified. It was a 3-stage maneuver which, if utilized effectively, could topple a country's government from within. The first stage is isolation, which was the power outage and hacking of satellites, which stop even satellite phones from working. Once that's done, the second stage is synchronized chaos, where the country is terrorized with covert attacks and misinformation, such as the piercing noise, the varied leaflets, and so on. Now, if done successfully, the third stage would happen on its own. Coup d'etat, civil war, collapse. This program was considered the most effective way to destabilize a country. GH explains because if the target nation was dysfunctional enough, it would in essence do the work for you. Whoever started this wants us to finish it. It's worth nothing that even if this is the thing that ties the apocalypse together, then Leave the World Behind still doesn't reveal who is behind it. Danny notes that it could even be a combination of the US's enemies, but he is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, so that's not a guaranteed fact. What we do know though is that whoever is behind it, it's certainly been a successful attack. When Rose gets into the bunker in the Thorne's home, we see their emergency alert system kick into life, revealing the state of the country. White House and major cities under attack from rogue armed forces, elevated radiation levels detected near multiple population centers, seek immediate shelter, with Rose separated from her family and her brother severely ill. As bees fall over New York, you might think it's an unhappy ending. However, Esmel feels that it's not totally bleak. There's a painting that's hung up on the end of the hallway before Rose goes down into the basement that says hope begins in the dark. I think as much as this film is a cautionary tale and it's meant to be a warning, it's not meant to give us an answer as to what to do next, but it is meant to say, as dark as it could get, as bleak as it can get, we can always strive to find some hope. This is basically how the film is explained. But what do my viewers have to say? What have you noticed about the film that is making you realize to say, maybe this film was giving us clues on what is currently happening? Because we have seen some things in this movie which are currently happening. An example I can give is the massive IT outage happening all over the world. But what do my viewers have to say? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you for always watching and see you in my next video.